welcome back.
We didn't give you up.
I feel like I let everyone down though.
I'm sobbing. This is not gonna be a third part. The joke is dead. I'm still disappointed that's not an eyeball. Like, it's also cool that he just, like, blows rocks out of his nose, mouth, appendage.
Snoot.
But, okay, so my sort of proposal for how to extend the copyright conversation, given what you said last episode, about, you know,
R.I.P.
like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But your argument seems to be that from the creative side of things, copyright in its current form, if wildly imperfect, allows you to have sort of a peace of mind that people just won't steal your shit.
Yeah.
But from the fan side of things, it's like, wow, I wonder how many, you know, good bootleg Zelda spin-offs I'm missing out on until, you know, Nintendo decides to do something like this. Good so far?
Yeah.
But so, like, on its most basic level, what do we want I don't even want to call it copyright, because assume we move past copyright as it currently stands. Let's just call it Steven. What do we want Steven to look like? On the most basic level, what should Steven do and not do?
So I think thinking about Stephen, we need to think about the things that the sins of the predecessor to Stephen has done, and the ways in which it has been sort of abused. I think looking at who hit me? Looking at Thomas Edison is a pretty good one, because here we have someone who used copyright to just a devious end.
For our viewers and also the person next to you that aren't as familiar with Thomas Edison litigation, I know there's like something with Nikola Tesla, but that's
Not even getting into
that's
that.
the extent of what I know.
So
So
one
can you
thing
give me,
that's
like,
weird
a
about Thomas
little
Edison,
base?
Thomas Edison, I believe, was a guy who worked at a patent office.
Uh-huh.
It seems a little weird that your inventor, who invented many, many a thing, worked at a patent office.
While he was inventing?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna actually do
That's a Gengar keep
No
out.
danger, keep out.
I saw that out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, wow, they're getting really loose with the copyright. Now I want there to be a Pokemon rhythm game. I don't know why I want that. I suck at rhythm games. I would delete options or something.
There is co-op here if you ever want to, pop in.
I mean, I could try it. Let's next episode try that until it isn't funny anymore, and then we can stop.
Sounds good. So catch us next time on Let's Play. We're not ending the episode right now, but this is an ad for next week. Oh, beans! I beansed it up. Did you know that I beansed it up?
I got that impression.
I beansed it up. Oh, double beans. Wait. Never mind, we're good. I got a key. Puppy! Let's see if we can't connect.
In case you don't know, because it's been a couple episodes, my dog is here. This episode of Let's Play.
What do I do with this? There's this thing right here.
I don't think you can... I don't like that a boomerang moves that way. I know it's like the mechanic of the game.
I'll get you.
Oh, that's a really cool... The way that, like, 8th note guy is moving.
Whoa, that's sweet. I was just paying attention, not being hit by the...
No, that's totally fair. However, My eyes are free to just observe and report.
Oh no, I'm doing bad on a lot of fronts. So he was a copyright fiend. He was someone who heavily enforced copyright of his own inventions. Things that either he invented or folks in his office invented, I guess. Real quick, just change over to this thing. I'm gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. But would just like freely take. So he was big into early movies. He made a lot of early movies. And what he made of early movies was he made a lot of stuff that is just pretty much exactly movies that previous folks had made. So there's Thomas Edison versions, or I suppose Thomas Edison's movie company versions of a bunch of different cool short stories.
With like different actors and props and things?
Yep.
Or, sweet.
But they are basically just recreations made to essentially take the views from the other movie makers. This was something that was not sort of creatively done. This was the video game equivalent of cloning.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? Oh, I can hop up there with the feather. I want to hop up there. Let me go up. Oh, there's a cave right there. There's quite a few beats as you move around. You can switch to fixed beat mode, make things a little. No. No. I'm missing beats because there's no useful enemies. There's no enemies that are going to attack me. Oh, I wonder if this is where Link would start if I started as Link instead of Zelda.
All you want to do is sleep. Me trying to get into bed.
That's neat. So instead of any like creative thing with Edison, it was I'm gonna use this to make money. Sort of not too dissimilar from what we were talking about with Apple. Almost like we're in some new Gilded Age or something weird.
I think we solved it.
There we go.
So, but what I'm hearing you say is we care like a lot more about the spirit of why something is done. But like,
well, because the effect of it too was that movie makers got less credit, got less funding, got less because
there were all these diluted versions out there.
Yeah. How do I beat it? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be tricky, right? Yeah.
Does that not damage you?
It didn't seem to damage me that time, so who knows?
I almost don't want to disrupt the blob, dude.
I got it, so I can open up that dang chest. Okay, now there's a problem.
What if there was just like a really overeager surgeon and he's like, I got it so I can open up that dang chest?
Oh, dang it. I think that did
blow
it for
yourself
me.
up.
It did.
Oh no.
I need to push this out. Oh. So I can hop onto that, but then I need a second one. Oh well, I don't think I can do this one. But like, I think creators legitimately need protections. This is something that like it's harder to talk about from the sense of but also like free information or whatever.
How would you feel about only getting X amount of protection if you were X amount of small? like, can this be correlated to size in any meaningful way without screwing things up and making it, like, needlessly more complicated? Because, like, you know, Edgar Wright early in his career might need and benefit from that protection, whereas, like, no one at Pixar is going to lose sleep over this.
Yeah. I think that's much closer to sort of how I sort of that. I think that gets closer to sort of my like gut feelings about it, right?
Uh-huh.
Where I want to say, oh, let's think about this in a contextual manner.
But then, like, where's the cutoff point?
Yeah, like the thing is, I don't know what specifically that looks like. I'm not the person to be writing this policy. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, you are and you aren't. You aren't in that you're not a lawyer, but, like...
Oh, this is the Lost Woods.
You're what in policy terms we would call, like, a direct stakeholder for this, right?
Yeah.
So, like...
I think that one of the... It's tough because, like, it's a lot easier when you think of sort of creative endeavors as individual acts of creation. Which is something that, you know, I'd like to stay away from.
Uh-huh.
I do a lot of stuff on this channel, and even then I try and sort of treat myself as an equal collaborator to everyone else. Because, like, even if, like, for example, you aren't editing videos, you are giving something critical to this.
I'm summarizing episodes of that sort of thing.
Exactly, critical. Fairies, bottles. Bottle for fairies.
It still bugs me that you can't just catch them in your hand and stick them in a bag.
Well, I don't have a bag. I have bottles.
But, like, why isn't there just, like, a bag at your house that you can, like...
Because I just woke up and I'm the princess and my castle is under... Dang it. It's very fun that even catching fairies is very sort of interesting in that way.
You're just not doing well with those rocks.
No, I'm really not. And so I think in some senses it's easier to think of copyright in as if creation were this individual act, right? So you can say this individual has this ability to work on this stuff.
Mm-hmm. But then does, like, Edgar Wright's, like, sound editor deserve a share of the copyright of Baby Driver?
Yeah. And alongside that, oh, there's another one down here. Ha 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 ha. I did that rock pretty alright. Just like Edgar Wright's sound designer did rock pretty alright with the sound design of the rock and roll.
You really know that? But also,
so I think usually how this is treated, I think talking about how this is usually treated will help us come to a solution as to how to, in the future, treat this. Because I think how it's usually treated is we think of these as, instead, we think of the businesses as individual entities rather than thinking about individual creators within sort of this system. I forgot to re-equip bombs.
Like, Jackie Chan's Police Story team. I'm thinking of that video
Yeah.
of the Police Story retrospective that we can link to in the description, I guess.
Yeah.
But also go watch Police Story.
Please do. Ha ha ha. Oh no! Punished for my pun. Punished, if you will.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. But, like, it feels like everybody that's on that stage owns, in some fuzzy metaphorical sense, a chunk of that movie. So maybe they should legally, like, own that.
Yeah. So how it's usually treated is like, right, you see something, you watch a Frozen music video, and similar to...
So, like, a still frame?
And it's attributed to Disney. The copyright is held by Disney. It's not held by any individual creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is sort of usually how it's treated, right? Oh, I did it bad. Let me change my weapon to this poisonous broadsword. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like the little swoosh.
Uh-oh. Big enemies. You have a spike on your shield. I don't like that. Maybe I should just take the money and run. Ooh, take the money and run?
Is that Eagles?
I don't remember actually.
I think it's the Eagles.
But so it's usually treated as if the companies making these things, so essentially surrogate act as individuals, in a way that helps contribute to
people.
Yeah, helps contribute to that. And so, how do we make it? And I think then the second question is, let's say we have someone who works at Naughty Dog and they're working on an Uncharted game.
Mm-hmm.
What right should this person have to then make their own Uncharted game, to make their own Last of Us game, to make their own things, or how much does that sort of thought instead just contribute to sort of stagnation of creativity as opposed to
I can't believe I'm saying what I'm about to say, but there's this really good Jacobin article. It's not usually a way that I start a sentence. About whether socialism would be boring.
Yeah.
That sort of gets into this. Okay, I really like that noise. Yeah. But I think the other thing I kind of wonder about with that, right, is that, so let's say, because I think what we were getting at earlier, like a second ago, was that, maybe when Edgar Wright is just making his first couple movies, like he really needs that protection, but once he becomes like, the Baby Driver guy, maybe he doesn't need that as much anymore. Does that heightened layer of Steven just turn off on all of his works after that at a certain point? Or does the stuff he makes while he was still like a small person stay on that, and then the stuff that he makes when he has bigger studio backing maybe is a little more public domain, publicly available?
Yeah.
Because also, whether somebody is, big or small, power-wise and like creator-wise, isn't like a static thing.
Yeah.
Like there are people that started out
from the bottom, now we hear. And with that, we'll see you. We'll continue this conversation with the title drop.
Wait.
We'll see you next time on Let's Play.
Wait, can we verify, in case that sound didn't come across on the microphone, that I just hit you with a water bottle?
I got a water bottle thrown at me into the sternum. It was great.